Hey everyone, it is Thursday, September 16th. We're halfway through September and it's our weekly real estate update. There should be a big explosion when I say weekly real estate update.
Boom, boom, boom.
Jaden Bax, Avenue Financial, how are you doing?
I'm loving life. I'm loving this new kind of 90s action movie weekly real estate update way of doing things.
Well, now I feel like I need to find some sort of graphic that I can insert. Um,
Tune in next week, right? Yeah.
Exactly. All right. Well, I think the weather is telling us it's fall. Beautiful sunny day, but it was chilly out there this morning. Let's get to our stats right away here. We got a lot to cover today. We had a request last week about apartment condos and what that market is like. So I'm going to show you some statistics as well on that note. So here's our detached stats for the week. Again, not surprisingly, hey, Laurel, thanks for watching. Laurel actually chimed in last week and said, hey, how about apartment condos? So Laurel, we're going to get to that for you this week. All right, so new listings, 363, up a bit from last week. Solds are up significantly from last week. Pending's about the same. And our sold plus pending at 441, a net difference of 78. So we're up again from last week. And now we're kind of in a bit of a roller coaster here in terms of that number. But certainly I'm not surprised to see that if we look at our new listings here, not surprised to see those jump up from, that week leading up to Labor Day. Not a surprise at all. This is our fall market and we are in it. Total of 241 price reductions. That's a little higher than it's been since that kind of second, third week of August. So again, what does that tell us? Well, we still have to price homes properly. The market is not like Ontario or Vancouver, where you can throw a home on the market and you're going to get an offer for $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 above asking. Calgary market, you still got to be sharp with your pricing right off the bat. I always say to clients, and this is not a word of a lie, the best marketing you can do is a great price to start with, along with photos, virtual tour, all the marketing that I do for my clients. So our total detached listings were down again this week. So check out that trend, everyone. We have a total decrease here over the last I would have to pull up all the stats, but it's probably hasn't been this low. Well, I'm not going to say a year, but it's very, very low in comparison to where we were 4, 5, 6 weeks ago there at 2837, 2847. That means our total listings are down again this week as well. There's the story. We're in our fall market. We're still seeing a lot of homes sell quickly. And as you can see, with 241 price reductions, homes that are not priced correctly, even on the detached side of things, are needing price reductions to get on the radar of people that are out there looking. Jaden, let's swap over to your rates for the week, which are actually similar to last week's and maybe identical, but as soon as I throw those up here, you can tell us all about that.
Yeah, the exact same. The really exciting one there is that 174 on the 5-year fixed for a quick close. Really, really, really great. And of course, I always love the variable, right? So when we're looking at that 1.2 on a 5-year variable is phenomenal. One of the things that I want to talk about with rates actually today is something that came up with a client of mine. He's doing a new build about 8 months out from completion, and he's looking for a 12-month rate hold and what is the absolute best rate on the market. And I have a competitive rate to him, but in my experience with this type of client doing a new build, my advice is always go to RBC. I can't work with them, but they have the absolute best product on the market, regardless of rate. And why is that?
Yeah.
If you do everything right now and you get your approval from RBC right now, including, if you need an appraisal and all of your, they're looking at your income and down payment and everything, that approval is good no matter what. Once it's approved, it's approved. And so if there's a life change between now and then, maybe, you lose your job or something unexpected happens, you have that approval in place, and you have a mortgage waiting for you when that home is complete, right? And I think that's the most important thing, right? I'm happy to go in and compete with RBC on price later, 120 days out, but don't worry about the rate. The rate isn't important. It's the mortgage that's important in that situation.
Yeah, so true. It's kind of irrelevant if you have a great rate if you can't get the mortgage, right?
Exactly. And everybody that I work with, they're going to check your credit bureau again, and they're going to get a job letter and pay stub, right? And so, we all hope that we're working 8, 9, 10 months from now when the house is complete. Who knows, right? So really protect yourself. That is a phenomenal product on the mortgage market. Something I don't have access to, but it's something that makes me feel better when my clients are using it.
Yeah, absolutely. Great stuff, Jaden. We're going to move on from rates. We're going to throw up a graphic here. I always like throwing these up. Kind of mid-month is when we get them. And this is kind of a September report. So let me stop the screen share on that one and add our days on market so far in September. So what is your guess, Jaden, for detached homes in Calgary? What's your guess for days on market?
I'm going to say 32.
Well, you're pretty close. So how long does it take a home to sell in Calgary? And we're actually going to look at all our segments on this graphic here. So apartment style, 63 days. And when I show you the apartment stats here in a moment, that's not a whole lot different than it was 2 years ago. Row housing, 47 days, semi-detached, almost identical to detached homes at 36 days. We've kind of settled into that mid-30s for days on market here over the last couple of months. Earlier in the year, it was lower than that, I believe, if my memory serves. But that kind of gives you an idea. So again, that's from the day you list your home till you actually get it firm sold. So that includes typically a 2-week condition period. So if you take 36 minus 14, or 22 days, you're really 3 weeks from when you list to getting your first offer kind of thing. My averages are actually this year have been 30 days on market for all of my listings. So my listings beat the Calgary average on average. And they sell at about, 99% of asking price. So there's a little bit of my stats for you as well. And then we just want to show, I'm going to share one of our tabs here. And this is, so Laurel asked last week about apartment condos in Calgary. So you should be able to see now the daily housing summary. I'm just going to point out a couple of things here with my mouse. So we have the apartments clicked off, so I can click on detached. Now it's going to load here for a second. But let's go back to apartments. So apartments. So what is going on with apartment condos in Calgary? So we don't have our full September stat package out yet. I'm going to point out a couple of things, though. Already in September 2021, if we zoom into the right-hand side of the screen, I'm going to go a little bigger so you can see that. So in September 2019, we had 113 sales by this point. We already have 181 in September of 2021. That's great. That is awesome. There's definitely more sales happening, 60% more sales happening than in September of 2019. So if we look at our new listings, we do have 21%, almost 22% more listings from 2 years ago. And then our active listings are actually only up 4%. That means that we're getting a lot more sales, as we can see in that upper number there as well. So let's go down to August, because this is going to give us our actual, is my home worth more than it was 1 to 2 years ago? I'm going to zoom in on this as well. So when we look at our benchmark price, back 2 years ago, it was $250,700. It dipped to $247,700 last year, and it's up to $253,300 this year. So it's a 2.25% increase from 2 years ago, which, you know what, guys, honestly, that's fantastic, because the apartment condo market over the past few years it's been tough. I'm going to use disaster. And the reason I say that is because there's been an oversupply, right? This is what happened in the detached and all the other segments leading up to January of this year, is we had too much supply. So what does that do to prices? It pressures them down. And that's really what's happened on the apartment condo side of things. But as I mentioned, 63 days on market in August. Really not a whole lot different than August 2019 at 69, 62 days a year ago. So really the wrap up there on apartment condos, our prices are up as of end of August, 2.25% from 2 years ago. And our days on market, you're still looking at 60 odd days to sell an apartment condo in Calgary. Our pendings, but look at this pendings in August, 53. That's up 430%. That's a big number. There was 10 in August 2019, 32 August 2020. So that's just kind of a quick snapshot as I zoom out again on the apartment condo market in Calgary. So, you know, certainly there's an opportunity there. As always, you have to be priced right from the beginning. You know, the challenge for a lot of people that I've talked to that have owned that type of product, and Jaden, you've probably found this as well, is when did you buy it, right? If you bought 1, 2, 3 years ago, yeah. So I'm going to throw up a couple of comments here. Yeah, a positive note gives people a lot of choices. Absolutely. And Laurel made a comment here as well. Great news for sure. So yeah, I mean, 2 points is better than -5 or -10% that things were doing, you know, really in the last few years on the apartment condo side. But really the conversation is talk to a guy like Jaden. Go, okay, well, if I sell, Jaden, like here's the scenario. I need to sell an apartment condo and purchase a detached home. You know, then you can have the conversation. Actually, I was just thinking about this. We had a client that we helped like that, where they were actually able to keep the apartment condo and purchase that detached home, right?
Yeah, and that's like those are you have to decide what your appetite for risk is as well, right? So do you want to be a landlord? Do you want to do all of that? Those are all conversations we're happy to have, and we know pretty well how much money you're gonna take out of that condo, you know, outside of, you know, realty fees and, you know, a potential penalty from the lender and all that kind of stuff. So we can tell you how much you'll walk away from based on your current situation as well, so that you can just make the most informed decision whether you want to keep that and keep that in your portfolio and move on, or sell it and onward and forward, right?
Yeah, exactly. And one of the services I provide, we're going to wrap up here in a second. We're already at 12 minutes. But to wrap this up, one of the services that I provide is just a kind of an estimate. It's called a net sheet. So, hey, here's a kind of a projected sale price. Here's what you owe on the property. Here's some other things to consider. You know, with a Bearland condo, I just listed a Bearland condo in Tucker Circle in Okotoks today. It's Bearland, so it needs to have a real property report. Well, they're $800. So we go through every item, every line item, say, okay, here's what you will literally net out with as an estimate. Only a lawyer could give you a full net sheet on that, but kind of gives you an idea. So in any case, great stuff again today, Jaden. Reach out to Jaden for all your mortgage information, as well as your real estate info from me. And we will look forward to chatting with everyone next week. Have a good week, Jaden.
You too, buddy.